So here we are in the Green Door store, Brighton's legendary venue, and I'm here with Kairen and Kemp from BBC Introducing.
Hello.
The thing about the BBC Introducing is it's an amazing opportunity for bands because, as we know, there's so many bands out there that you do need some way of literally introducing yourself to the world and cutting through the noise, and I think you guys do an amazing job with that.
Thank you.
But it's surprising how many bands don't know about it, even now.
It's worrying,
even
actually.
now.
Yeah, even now.
So, and I know plenty do, the ones in the know seem to figure it out and get on there. So how's it done? So tell us a bit about it first, set the scene.
Yeah, in 2007, BBC decided they wanted to create a platform to find new music and also to support that music. So they did that, and then what they decided was the best way of going about it was an artist or a band, they load up their track via an uploader on BBC Introducing on the website, and from there that track gets passed out to lots of different BBC Introducings across the UK.
Okay.
Where it's gone.
Right. And so it's kind of regional. So you upload it centrally to the website.
You upload it to that central site, and you just put a bit of information about yourself. It's not asking for much.
Right.
It will ask for the postcode of where you live, which is how they manage then to share it out.
Ah, and then what happens? Once you've got, presumably you get a lot of bands.
Yeah.
So what
BBC
happens?
Introducing in Brighton gets about 400 a month.
Okay.
Which is a fair amount to get through.
Yeah.
And obviously that does take time.
Yeah.
So it gets sent to the central area, relevant area, Brighton, for instance.
Yeah.
And it gets listened to.
Yeah.
By, in our case, most of the listening is done by our presenter, Melita Dennett.
Yeah.
And from there, it's decided if they like it, they'll give it a play.
Right, okay.
It doesn't mean to say that if when you first load up, if it doesn't get chosen, that doesn't mean to say you're never going to get chosen.
Right.
It's sometimes that you're just not in the right place.
Yes.
I'm sure you sort of understand that.
Oh yeah, timing as well. You know, if you've got, say, 10 up-tempo tracks, then the next track you probably want something that's a little bit more chilled, you know, so, you know.
But, I mean, there is a long, there's a list that gets built up of tracks. And yes, although the show has to be very varied, everything that's coming in is very varied.
Right.
You know. So, you may get played on the show. That's the point when you need to go crazy with social media.
Right.
Because the more that's coming back, the better. For you, well, and also for the show.
Yeah.
If it seems like it is good, that they want to play it, then often Melita will go and see the band live.
Right.
Because obviously, if we want to have them in live,
they've got to deliver.
The next stop.
You know, you've got to be able to deliver live on this because it is a live format.
That's right. Yeah. And it's also about the fact that at that point you might not be ready.
Yeah.
You know, you might have a great song, which is obviously the first thing.
Yeah.
But maybe you don't have a great song yet.
Yeah.
Or you might have a great song, but you're just not quite there in the performance side of things. Yeah. And you just need to practice your craft.
Yeah.
And I really do believe that you get young artists who say, I want a session, whatever. In fact, what happens is you'll say, you need to go out there, do everything live, as much as possible. And they possibly think, well, I've done a lot of gigging. But then when they do go and do that, do more gigging. Getting this, also, because then the audiences know. They'll let you know. They'll say, oh, that's a good track. That's not a good track, simply by their reactions.
So you'll feel the buzz, or sometimes perhaps not so much of a buzz, and you can tell which bands are kind of on the way.
And the fact is that, actually, the artist or band, they know when they've got to that bit. They really do. It's like, oh, right. It's okay. And they come, they may play a session. And that's 3 live sessions over a show.
So it's quite substantial. It's quite a lot of exposure.
And some people have never done anything on radio before.
Right.
Quite a lot of people. Which is why they're in introducing. But they'll do that. But also when those tracks initially come in, what we also do is if it gets played, Melita will then think, oh, hang on a second, this person would like to play this at Six Music, or Radio 1 or Radio 2 or whatever, and she will pass it up as
Right.
well. So it's not just you get here.
No.
You can be transported to a variety of different
and
areas.
also I discovered a lot of bands from BBC introducing, but via YouTube as well, so it has a life of its own afterwards.
Yeah, it does.
And do you have a presence at festivals as well?
There is an introducing stage at most festivals, and then you have the open arenas. The way I think of it is like the biggest weekends that we've just done. But yes, there is introducing stage at most festivals. And interestingly enough, at Reading and Leeds last year, 58% of the bands who were playing, not just on the introducing stage, had come through introducing.
Well, it doesn't surprise me at all, because just from our own experience, we put bands on various festival stages and supports as well. It's a lot easier to do it if they've got that on their CV, if you like. This weekend we've had Saint Apache on the Isle of Wight festival. They wouldn't have got that had they not come through the BBC introducing stage as well. So is there any bands that, notable bands that stick in your mind that's been through the introducing?
The first one that I think stuck in my mind, and I still remember them coming through the door, is Royal Blood.
Right.
And that was 2013, and in a very short period of time they'd gone mahoos.
And did you feel that was like, could you see it? Right.
And I think you do.
You do, yeah.
There's something, again, they're in the right place in their sort of development.
Yeah.
And also, it's one hell of a show. You know? I mean, they are.
And it's quite a small room, isn't it, that they're recorded in?
Well, what we do is our reception area is our studio, and it works brilliantly because it's quite adaptable.
Yeah.
So we've got Royal Blood.
Yeah.
Young band called Yonica, who they emerged last year, and they're getting an awful lot of coverage.
Right.
Most recently, Annabelle Allen. There's an awful lot of talk about her.
Right.
Very nice review in the Independent quite recently.
Okay, amazing.
But and she's quirky, but she's really worked hard at her craft.
Yeah.
And she ended up only a few months back touring with Beth Ditto, and the most recent one was a young lady, very young, called Isabel Brown.
Yeah.
And she has just been put onto the BBC introducing stage at Latitude, which for her is amazing. She was amazing in studio, and all these people are. Once there's just something you look at it, you think, oh right.
So, last thing, Karen.
Yeah.
What would be your tip for someone thinking of submitting their work to you? What would make it stand out?
Well, what you need to do is to get all your ducks in the row.
Yeah.
So don't send us anything in if you're not happy with it.
Yeah.
It might not be ready yet, but so send that in. No bad language.
Okay. Yep.
Let's try not to do prog length. So no more than about four minutes, but perhaps
these things make it harder,
less.
don't they? I mean, we're all, any radio, we're regulated by Ofcom and all that, so it just makes it hard. There's nothing wrong with doing an edit though and taking the words out.
No, you can
like
do
the
that.
rap
That's
guys
fine.
do, just chop it out. Yeah.
We want to pack as much into a programme as possible. Yeah. So not having very long tracks obviously helps that. But if you get the song right, then you're in. That's it.
It's all about the song.
It's all about the song.
It's all about the song.
It's all about the song.